Look, no one likes people who write boring scenes. So here's 7 ways to make your scenes interesting. Number 7, choice. Give your character a choice to make, put them to the test. You don't just want to give your character something, you want to make them choose it. Make the choice difficult and interesting, and this is going to be a good scene. Like in The Matrix, Morpheus didn't just take Neo aside and tell him the nature of reality. No, he was given a choice. Same thing in Harry Potter. The Sorting Hat didn't just put Harry in Gryffindor, it gave him a choice. Not Slytherin, eh? Said the small voice. Are you sure? But the choice can't be something trivial like, ooh, do I get pork or chicken? It's got to have real weight to it. You want it to be like the dramatic climax to the scene. And a good trick to achieve that is to have your allies opposed to the choice that your character needs to make.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I will give you $20,000 cash today. I'll sell the phone, I'll work out this problem with USR, but I want 50% of the company, and I've got to be CEO.
So our main character here has just been given a choice. Now it's extremely clear that he needs to say yes, but his partner is opposed to the idea. Now just notice in this scene what this partner's opposition gives. It makes our main character's choice so much more interesting and significant.
That's...
Are you joking? No.
What was...
Obviously, no. No!
You should digest it.
Mike.
Okay.
Who is in charge here?
Well, I mean, technically...
Mike is in charge, and he says no.
I am in charge. And I say...
When characters are given a choice, they're forced to be proactive, and proactive characters are simply more interesting than passive characters. So tip number 6, we're going down, remember? Not every scene needs a choice, but every scene needs a goal. There's some fun science for everyone. When a character has a clear goal in a scene, it activates our brain's prediction and reward system. We subconsciously simulate the character's intent, and we actually get a release of dopamine as we anticipate that goal being met. So how do we do this in the most effective way possible? This is pretty obvious, but the more important the reader perceives the goal to be for the character, the more the reader desires that goal to be met. Making it seem important is super easy. You just focus on it. Repeat it more times than you think you need to. So what do you do if you've written a scene and there's no clear goal? What I like to do is I like to break something in the scene. Why is my hand so close there? I like to break something in the scene that urgently needs fixing. And then by hyper-focusing on that broken thing, suddenly the goal becomes clear. Fix the broken thing. Now this can be something physical, like a wound or a power cut. Or it can be something like someone cuts in front of you in line. Or your good friend Jeff starts hitting on you. And you're like, shit, do I tell him I'm not gay? But then that might make things awkward. So instead you just go with it. Tip number 5 is just to skip the boring parts. Now the 2 biggest culprits I see in amateur writing, travelling scenes and introduction scenes. I remember reading a student scene, and the scene was basically the main character having a job interview. The scene started with a couple of paragraphs describing the car journey there, then describing the exterior of the building, inside of the lift, hallway, receptionist, then the introduction scene. Hi, I'm John Mayer. I'm here for the job interview. Hi, John. I'm Steve Jobs. Please take a seat. Oh, I will. Thank you. As I'm reading, I'm just thinking, I don't give a shit about any of this. Just shut the fuck. Skip all that boring shit. Jump straight into the interview. The reader will figure it out. Number 4, avoid character bloat. This is when there's too many characters in a scene, and most of them are just standing around not doing anything, making everyone feel weird. What you need to do is find an excuse to just isolate the important characters and get rid of the rest. Better yet, ask yourself if you even need to have 5 different characters. Like maybe this character and this character are pretty similar and they serve the same function in the story. So just combine them into one. Number 3, location. You want to think about what's going on in the background and where your scene is located. Let's say you've written a dialogue scene and it's just 2 people sitting in a room talking. Well, there's so many ways that you can improve that to make it more interesting. Put them on a tandem bike together. Make them chat in a urinal, or make them chat in a library with people trying to shush them constantly. If they're outside, try and change the weather suddenly to like a blizzard or a rainstorm, or maybe the AC breaks in the room and they're caught in the heat. And bonus points if you can use a location as like a visual metaphor. Like, say your character is a slimy salesman, and while he's closing a deal, a snake in the background is slithering into a nest and about to eat the eggs. Number 2, actions. Instead of having your characters just standing around talking, have them like interacting with the world around them. Have them building something, fixing something, or like helping someone from a car crash or some shit. I don't know. Just fucking have them doing something. Okay, so my final and favorite tip is counting. Now this can mean putting a countdown timer into your scene, or just keeping track of the number of something. But it's extremely effective and extremely simple. I'm honestly like shocked how often it just works for me whenever I see it in a scene. And I think it's so effective because of that shit I was saying about how a character clearly stating their goals triggers that reward anticipation center in our brain. Well, counting does the exact same thing. Whether it's Legolas and Gimli counting their kills in the Battle of Helm's Deep, or one of the millions of scenes where a bomb is ticking down, it just simply makes the scene more interesting. And you can really get creative with it. Like even like on a dialogue scene, like imagine a man, he plunks a drink down onto his table and says, "You got till the end of this beer and then I'm leaving." And then during the scene, you keep updating the reader on the diminishing level of the beer. Or imagine a nervous speaker about to give a presentation and he's told if he says over 10 times, he's going to lose everyone's attention. And so every time he says he updates his count and it goes up and up and up, and we're kind of wondering, oh, is he going to get to 10 or not? Just before I go, something I've noticed about countdown timers, they always work the best when they're a little bit ridiculous and exaggerated. For example, let's say your character has 10 minutes to get to a hospital before he dies. And he checks his phone to see how far away the nearest hospital is. If you want the scene to be exciting, how far away should you make the hospital? Should you make it 10 minutes away to, What I think works the best is if you make the hospital something like 20 minutes away. So you're thinking, what? 10 minutes to live, hospital's 20 minutes away, he's fucked. And he's just like fucking fully sending it through traffic, and the time is getting closer and closer to 0, and you're like, he's not gonna make it. And then the time actually hits 0, and you're like, what the fuck?
At 5:30, that's in exactly 11 minutes. My band is on stage. If your ass is not on that stool with your own fucking sticks in hand...
He's gotta be on stage at 5:30. He's got 10 minutes to pick up his shit.
That's my part. I'll be on your stage.
Fuck! You got 10 minutes, you fucking pathetic, pansy-ass fruit fuck!
He's not gonna make it. It took him 8 minutes to pick up his shit. He's got 2 minutes to get back. He's fucked.
Hey, tell Fletcher I'm coming.
What the fuck is taking you so long, man? We're moving on stage right now.
They're already on stage and he's still not back. This is incredibly stressful to watch. But the more stressful the scene is, the more interesting the scene is.
I know, I got locked in my car. It's fine. I got locked in my car. I'm coming.
Left turn, 200 feet.
Are you driving, man?
No.
What the hell was that noise?
Okay, look, why don't you just tell Fletcher that I'm coming, you motherfucker?
And he dies. Everyone who watches that scene's on the edge of their seats, and that's the power of the impossible countdown timer. It's a good trick to put in your toolbox. A good tool to put in your toolbox. So those are my 7 tips. Hopefully you can now write an interesting scene, and people will like you more as a result.